Hey there, Josh with MessageDesk here. In this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about SMS compliance and registration and give you next steps on how you can get registered and if you're hitting issues maintaining compliance, what you can do to remedy those issues. That being said, let's jump right in. First things first, what is carrier registration? It's very important to know this. As of 2024, any business sending text messages within the United States or Canada is required by law to register their SMS traffic. As a MessageDesk customer, our team's going to help you do this. In fact, we're going to walk you through each step of the way. Registration is very simple. All it requires is that you provide carriers, this would be AT&T, Verizon's, T-Mobile's of the world, proof of your business, so this would be your EIN or some other tax ID, along with other information like the address the business is registered under, contact information for someone at the business. That's all stuff the carriers use just to verify you're a legitimate business. Then you also have to provide them information about why you're text messaging customers, how customers opt in to receiving text messages, and what you do to educate customers about how they can opt out and how they can change their messaging preferences. All of this is being put into place to protect the end consumer, me, you, everyone else with a personal phone in the United States and Canada, from receiving those spam messages. Almost everyone at this point has received probably multiple spam messages to their phone and wondered, how the heck did this happen? And the answer is because over the last 10 to 15 years, there's been no regulations in place for who is allowed to access what's called A2P messaging. A2P stands for application to peer messaging. And in layman's terms, all that means is anytime you use a tool like MessageDesk or some other software provider to send text messages. Up until now, anyone could use a tool like that, put their credit card in, buy a bunch of message credits, and then message 10 people, 100 people, 100,000 people, 100 million people. There were no safeguards, no limits, no regulations in place on who had the access to that number of contacts or to reaching that many people at once. Registration changes that. As a business, when you register, carriers are going to ask specific questions about who you're messaging, how often you'll be messaging them, and how exactly you got their contact info. Based on that, carriers are going to verify you for a certain amount of throughput. In other words, they're going to tell you how many messages you can send on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. For most businesses, this throughput is going to be more than enough. It's going to be a few thousand a day, potentially a few thousand a minute. What's important to note is that because you're a business who's registered, you can access that level of throughput. A lot of people are going to ask, well, how come I can use my personal phone and start texting people willy-nilly, never register? And the simple answer is you can't really text that many people from your personal phone in a day. Maybe you can text 25, 50 if you just type a bunch of messages, but there's not really a way through your cell phones, and this is deliberate, to say type a message and send it to a bunch of people all at once individually. Maybe you can do a group message, stuff like that, but for the most part, you can't reach people at scale like you can with a tool like MessageDesk, where one click of a button, you could send 100,000 text messages to 100,000 people, and it took you 5 seconds, right? There's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of benefits to it, but when used by the wrong people, the wrong intent, that can also be a cause of frustration for the average person. Again, me, you, anyone else with a smartphone, cell phone in the United States or Canada. That being said, as a MessageDesk customer, we're going to help you navigate this process. The registration requirements are really quite simple. I have them on the screen here. We have SMS experts on standby. So if you're a new MessageDesk customer, we're going to walk you through how to do this. If you're an existing customer who's run into issues with registration or run into issues maintaining compliance, our team's on standby. Just reach out to us via email at support@messagedesk.com. Any questions, happy to get back to you. You can also email me directly at josh@messagedesk.com with any questions. Again, happy to help. And what's important to know is that the active registration is something you do up front. That's going to save everyone a lot of headaches. It's going to save you headaches because you're going to get verified delivery and you're going to have a reputation of sending messages. It's going to let you reach a lot more people a lot more effectively. It's going to make carriers' jobs and lives a little easier because they'll have peace of mind knowing that you're a legit business messaging, and they'll have a higher degree of confidence they can deliver those messages faster, more reliably. And then for the average person, hopefully our SMS inboxes are a little bit cleaner. We don't have to worry about phishing attacks. We don't have to worry about SMS spam. which should be a win-win for everyone. What's important is that once you get registered and you have all that access to throughput, delivery, verification, etc., you're going to want to make sure you remain compliant. So part of remaining compliant is that in each of your messages, you keep reinforcing how the contact can opt out of future messaging. As a MessageDesk customer, this is really simple. Any contact can reply stop at any time to prevent any future messages from being sent their way. By default, our platform does this for you. We also suggest that you include this reminder of you can reply stop to opt out in your messages moving forward. It's also advisable that you include your company name in your messages as much as possible. This is just going to help the carriers understand this is a company sending a message and align it with the registration you've submitted. In both of these cases, it's not that if you don't include stop or don't include your company name that your message will fail or be blocked. It just increases the likelihood that the carriers, in all honesty, are going to mess up and block your message by accident, right? So the more proactive you can be in terms of how you compose your messages, the higher your delivery is going to be, the higher the reliability is going to be. And then the next important thing is opt-in. You're going to want to make sure that every person you message has opted in to receiving messages. Again, as a MessageDesk customer, we provide tools for doing this. Specifically, we let you use SMS keywords that people can text in to subscribe. They can literally text the word subscribe to your MessageDesk phone numbers to automatically get opted in, or you can set up additional keywords of your choice that people can text in. You can also set up SMS forms, which are pictured here. Forms are very simple. It asks for contact information, has an explicit checkbox. Someone checks to say they're willing to receive SMS messages from your business. As soon as they submit that form, they have opted in within MessageDesk, and they will receive an automatic reply of your choosing. We also have a similar tool called Chatbot, which you can put on any page on your website, which does the exact same thing as a form, except it's embedded on the website, pops up, lets all your website visitors subscribe to receiving SMS and receive an immediate automatic reply. So in summary, it's important to understand that one, carrier registration is required for all businesses messaging within the United States and Canada. The act of registering is quite simple and straightforward. Our team's on standby to help. Again, feel free to email me or our support team. My email is josh@messagedesk.com. Our support team is support@messagedesk.com. Within the context of this video, wherever you're watching it, there's going to be links either in the description or in the article this is embedded in that tell you next steps for how to begin registration. That's going to be a simple form you fill out, and that's actually going to signal our phone number experts and SMS experts to reach out directly with any questions. That's a great way to kick things off. And then once registration is completed, your phone number has been verified with carriers, you just want to make sure you follow best practices in terms of staying compliant. And that's really simple. Again, reinforce how people can opt out, use your company name as much as possible in messaging. And then when in doubt, always ask your contacts if they still want to receive SMS messages from you and actually get them to verbally commit or write back a reply. In general, the more replies you get from your contacts, the better that is. It just tells carriers your phone number is getting two-way traffic. If you're just messaging people one way, at the end of the world, but you're going to want to make sure you're reinforcing opt-in and opt-out, so every person you're messaging has actually opted into receiving those messages. That being said, again, my name is Josh. I put my email in here a few times. Feel free to reach out with any questions. I tried my best to break things down. Any part of this is confusing, that's a great reason to send me a quick email. I'm happy to clarify. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, again, feedback is welcome. That being said, best of luck moving forward with text messaging. Thanks.